Hello guys, hello, my people. I'm just here to talk about, obviously you can tell from the title, it's not an enlightenment video or anything like that, it's just me talking about my favorite movie, one of my favorite franchises of all time, Harry Potter. So, I want to talk about, wow, if we can spray in the sky here, just because it's nice and hot, literally, man, it really is. Like, look at that shit. Like, you see that? I don't know if you see it. It goes like from there all the way to that plane right there. And it's always right next to the sun. Always right next to the sun, but nowhere near other places. How come it can't be right behind this building? Oh, but it's always where the sun is at, right? That's something for you guys to think about. We're moving on. So, it's the 20th anniversary of Harry Potter, basically. It's funny too because I've been playing Harry Potter, the Philosopher's Stone for PS1 and Chamber of Secrets for PS1. So I love those games. They're classics on their own right, you know. I'm playing Chain of Memories. I've been playing on Chamber of Secrets and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I love Chamber of Secrets. I love that movie. I need to go back to read the books again because, yo man, like I stopped when I was a young kid. I should go back to it, you know. But mainly because those books are technically autobiographies of what? Again, this is not a spiritual enlightenment video, but let's just say J.K. Rowling knew her shit about colored people and who we were back in ancient times. She did her research, same thing as with George Lucas. He did his research about ancient technology, Atlantean technology. That's why you see all those stuff that you see in Star Wars. Yeah, we make that shit. So, colored people did. That's what George Lucas founded at. So moving on. It's beautiful outside. Nature's here. What's up, Henry? What's up? Just talking about some Harry Potter stuff, man. So right now there's the anniversary of Harry Potter like they're gonna have an event for Harry Potter for next year on January 1st, 2022. So I want to say this. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I've been a Harry Potter fan ever since the first movie, ever since the book too. You know, I remember in elementary school that I was just seeing the book and the teachers were reading it to the class and everything like that. It was a good time. It was a good time to be an elementary student when you were a kid, you know. And then the movies came out the next year and everything like that. Oh, it was so good to be a kid back in the day, man. Hell yeah, man. The 90s were awesome. The 90s were the shit. But moving on from that, man. The cast, the people that played the cast for the Harry Potter crew, they're literally the right age to make the new movie, because there is an 8th book. A lot of people don't know this. There is an 8th Harry Potter book. It's called The Cursed Child, but it is not good. It is not a good book. I almost got the book from a YouTuber, but then I didn't, you know, told the YouTuber right away where I live and everything like that. It was basically my fault, mainly because it was like a competition type thing, and it was like, hey, if you don't get it right away, it's going to go to the next person. So that's what happened to me. But hey, I didn't mind it. I did watch reviews about it and how they describe how the book was and everything like that, and the detail of them reviewing it bit by bit. And I'm just like, they fucked up with that book. That book is basically, it's almost like if someone was a fan of Harry Potter and they made that book, and then you read it and you were like, this is not Harry Potter. For crying out loud, Harry tells Professor McGonagall, what do you know? You don't have a child. That's not Harry. Harry Potter would never say that to Professor McGonagall. Professor McGonagall is literally like another mother, it's like a grandma. Right next to Dumbledore. Dumbledore was like a grandfather to Harry and shit like that. Like, what the fuck? Like, when I heard that from that book, I'm just like, that's not Harry. Harry Potter from the books and movies would never say that to Professor McGonagall. If she did, Professor McGonagall would have looked at him and be like, for real, man. You don't disrespect Professor McGonagall, man. You don't disrespect for real, man. And then I'm just hoping when they do, because the guy that made the first two Harry Potter movies, which I love the first two Harry Potter movies. Not to say I don't like the other ones. My favorite one still is my favorite one out of all of them is Chamber of Secrets. I love Chamber of Secrets. The second one is what is it? What's it called? Not the Deathly Hallows. What's it called? Order of the Phoenix. I fucking love that movie. People say the book is boring. I haven't read the book, maybe because that shit's too long. But the movie is it's fucking amazing. That movie's fucking amazing. And if you say no, all I have to say is this: Dumbledore versus Voldemort. Fuck you. That shit's badass. All right. I recommend Harry Potter, The Cursed Child. There are some people that do like the book, actually. It's like a mixed bag. Some people like it, some people hate it. But majority of people hate it, mainly because there's certain things in that book that doesn't make sense for the other characters. Like, for example, why is Harry getting flashbacks about Voldemort when he killed when Voldemort killed his own Horcrux inside Harry in the Deathly Hallows? Reason why Harry went up to Voldemort and Voldemort was like, come to die, and then he kills him. But Harry comes back. Why he comes back is because he was actually protecting his friends. He died to protect his friends so his friends won't die. That's a type of magic, and that's real magic. That's real. That's a real thing, right? So that's why I love these movies, man. Especially with the Avengers movies, you know, the Star Wars movies. I love that shit. All right, hold on. I'm looking at more of your comments, Henry. I'm sorry. His annoying bitch, like his father was. Oh yeah. The thing is, I've had a theory. Like, if Neville Longbottom became the chosen one and not Harry Potter, I guarantee you, Harry probably would have been like his dad. Maybe not as dickish as his dad, but somewhat similar to his father. You know. But who knew about the relationship with him and Snape with that, to be honest? If his parents never died or anything like that, or maybe they did die still, but maybe not by Voldemort, or maybe still by Voldemort. Who knows? There's so many things that you could have done with what you could do with this. You know, I just hope one day they make a Harry Potter video game, and when you beat Harry Potter's story, all of a sudden there's like a new game plus, but it's never Longbottom's story, like decides that he's the chosen one now, like a what if story. That'd be great. That's just me as a fan. It doesn't have to be canon. Just make it a what-if story. That's what it is. That's what what-if is made for. What-ifs are made just to have fun. It really is. It really is. And some people get pissed off at it. I'm like, it's just what-ifs. It's not really canon. And if they do make it canon, there's tons of different universes when it comes to Marvel. But obviously, when it comes to Harry Potter, that's different. We don't have multiple universes, at least not yet. We have multiple stories where the Harry Potter universe is at. Like the school, there's a Harry Potter, there's a wizarding school in Massachusetts. And when I heard about that, I'm like, why isn't there a movie around about that? There's literally a story revolving around that story, and that could be a movie in itself. Yet they haven't done it. I think they should do it. I would push that up to the moon because I love that shit. Reading more of the comments here, Henry, I'm sorry. Order of the Phoenix, yep. Voldemort as a kid carrying out his father's destiny. That's the thing. Voldemort didn't even like his father or mother. At first, he thought he got his powers from his father. Then he found out his father was a mugger, and he was pissed about that shit. So he thought his mother was weak because her mother killed herself, I think, right? I need to look back at that shit because Voldemort really didn't give a fuck about his family, mainly because he never felt love. That's the biggest problem with the Cursed Child. He had a baby with Bellatrix. Now the thing is, him and Bellatrix as a couple is not far-fetched, in my opinion. But Bellatrix loved this guy. Voldemort didn't give a fuck about nobody because he was born without love. And there's also a fan theory of like, what if Jenny Weasley used the love potion for Harry? That's why he fell in love with her. That's why in the Half-Blooded Prince, it was so weird, and that romantic between both of them was so off and so stupid, in my opinion. And that's why it felt that way. But you know, some of those theories are just excuses for bad writing and bad character development, obviously. But it is fun to think about sometimes, you know. But sorry about that. Let's see. James Potter should have just had his wand and might have a chance against Voldemort. Yeah, there's a theory about that. There was a theory about that, saying that how come James Potter didn't fight Voldemort? Like, how come he didn't use his wand and shit like that? Like supposedly from what I heard, Voldemort attacked James Potter before he even got a chance to attack. So, and the thing is too, I've seen, can't you deflect abracadabra? I feel like you can. And if no one couldn't, I guarantee you, if Voldemort did that to Dumbledore, he would have blocked that shit. The reason he let Snape kill him is because he was going to die anyways. Snape knew and Dumbledore knew. No one else didn't know but them two. They both knew that Dumbledore's life was going to be short. So, hi Emily. So I can't wait for this stuff to happen. I can't wait for the anniversary of Harry Potter. And the guy that directed the 2 movies of Harry Potter, the first 2 movies, if he does come back to do The Cursed Child, I'm up for it. I am. I just hope he changes the bad aspects of that book and expands the good parts of it. You know what I would do? I would have Voldemort's daughter that's in the book, have her be her own character. She deserves to be her own character. Please don't have her attached to be Voldemort. How about this? If you want her to be attached to Beatrix still, go ahead. Maybe you could be like, oh, Beatrix thought that this was Voldemort's daughter, but she didn't because she had another, you know, it was before that. Before she fell in love with Voldemort, she was with somebody else. But, you know, some stupid shit like that, I guess. But I'm just thinking, that doesn't have to be a real thing. We can throw that out of the window. We don't have to do that. All we have to do is make sure Voldemort's daughter is her own character. She deserves it, in my opinion. She does. And the whole aspect of her going to Hogwarts and messing with Harry and Draco's son's minds to fight with each other is great. I want that aspect more. I really do. And the thing is, she could still be be inspired by Voldemort or something like that. Or maybe one of her family members was part of the Death Eaters, then died during the Battle of Hogwarts, and she just wants revenge on the Harry Potter crew. That's an easy story right there. You know, you could do that. Because look, the reason I say that is because we need to have some type of connection with this character from the other movies. Not a villain or not a main villain, maybe a side character that we've seen, but not that much, or probably don't care about. You know, it's almost like The Last of Us 2, when you have one of the main characters that you play as, that a lot of people don't like, but you play as her, and you find out that her dad died and shit like that, and she wants revenge on Joel and Ellie and shit like that, especially on Joel. So then that happens, you know. So again, it depends on the writer. It depends on the guy that's gonna come back and make this movie. And if he is gonna come back, the guy that made the first 2 Harry Potter movies, I'm up for it 100%. But if it's someone else, I'll be a little iffy. I'll be a little iffy with it, because the Cursed Child is not a long book. I've seen it in stores, and it's not a long book compared to Order of the Phoenix and the Deathly Hallows. It's a short book, okay? I think it's like, not even, I was gonna say Goblet of Fire short, but Goblet of Fire is fucking long. I'll say it's even shorter than the first book. I think the Cursed Child isn't even that long of a book. Mainly because when you read it, it's like a play, which makes sense. I remember when I first read it, I'm like, yeah, this is not how J.K. Rowling writes. I already knew. Once I saw that, I knew something was off. I knew something was wrong. And a lot of people thought the same thing too, you know? Just want to keep scrolling here. Hold on. I don't know why they keep repeating my comments here. Let's see. Yeah, they keep repeating my comments. I don't know what's going on here. What's up, Jose? Morpheus versus Potter. That would be a good fight. Oh, hell yeah. Morpheus versus Harry Potter, that'd be great. That's the thing, too. If you really think about, like for example, Yoda versus Dumbledore. Most people might think Yoda will win. And the thing is, I would have said Yoda will win too. But the thing is, with the Star Wars characters, when they use the Force way too much, they can actually die. So, in real life, that doesn't happen. They put those in movies, obviously. But in movies, in movie-wise, they just die. Because they use too much strength and power. With wizards and witches in the Harry Potter universe, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen at all. And the thing is too, it's always been it's always been kind of weird of how wands work in the Harry Potter universe, basically, because the wand chooses its master, almost like it's Keyblade, almost like Kingdom Hearts, when the Keyblade chooses its master, it chose Saga. So that's why a lot of people do compare Kingdom Hearts with Harry Potter, at least with the wands and the Keyblades. They're almost similar, very, very similar. I wonder if J.K. Rowling and Tetsuya Nomura had a cup of coffee together. Who knows? Maybe Tetsuya Nomura is a big fan of Harry Potter. Who knows? I don't know how Japan feels about Harry Potter. I'm not saying they hate it, but it's probably a phenomenon over there. Because Japan loves a lot of shit that comes from here. They do. They really do. But so, what else I would have done with the movie? What else I would have done with it? I mean, the thing is, what I like about the Cursed Child actually is that Harry's son doesn't have a Philosopher's Stone moment. He doesn't have Chamber of Secrets. He doesn't have the adventure that his father had. And to be honest, that's actually refreshing. I was like, yeah, I think he was like 2 or 4 years into his school and he didn't have an adventure at all in Hogwarts. And everyone was just like, this is Harry Potter's son and he didn't do shit. They put him into a high standard because he is the son of the boy who lived, obviously. So that's kind of like, that's kind of fucked up. All that weight on you, So kind of sucks when all that pressure is on you, especially when you're young, You don't want that pressure on you and shit like that, Because you're young, you're impressionable, and a lot of people are bullying to you and make fun of you and shit like that. And the one thing too that I didn't like where Harry said to his son, when Harry's son is like, "Oh, I wish I wasn't your son," I wish he wasn't my father. And Harry was like, well, I wish he wasn't my son. When I heard that shit, I'm like, okay, maybe the son's saying it. That's fine. Because, kids say it. But Harry saying it? Nah, I'm sorry. That completely killed it for me. Literally. I'm like, he would never say that. You know what he would have done? He probably would have held the little blanket that he was given in the beginning of the Harry Potter movie when he's a baby and he came with that blanket. I would have had that moment of him having his son telling him, "Oh, I wish you weren't my dad," and then walk off, and then him just going like this, just feeling the blanket and just clutching it, just holding like what I'm losing my son, just holding it and being like, "Damn, man, I think I'm losing my son." And then he talks to Jenny, his wife, his woman, and then Jenny Weasley obviously probably talks to her son and shit like that. Did we got that in the book of the Cursed Child? Did we got anything with Jenny Weasley and her son? And the thing is, Harry has other kids. I think he has 2 more kids. I think he has 2 boys and 1 girl. I could be wrong. Maybe he just has a boy and a girl. But from what I remember, he does have a girl, and she's not in the book. I understand because Jenny Weasley wasn't in the book until part 2, even though she was in part 1. Even in the movie, she just made a cameo. That's really it. But it is pretty cool that they got the actresses and the actors, especially when they were young, that they made sure that they came back. That's one way to do it, especially when you're young and stuff like that. Because when you're older, it's hard for actors sometimes, And then sometimes there's actors like these actors that done the Harry Potter stuff. They've been doing it for years, and then when the series is finally over, they want to do other things, but then that's all they remember. I mean, that's all they've been remembered from other people, and they can't branch off from it. Sometimes they have, sometimes they don't. The actor that played Harry, I forgot his name right now, Daniel Radcliffe. I hope I'm saying his name right. If not, don't kill me. But he's been branching off with the Harry Potter stuff and has been walking until now. But now he might just come back to a franchise that he was trying to stay away from, and now he's just gonna go right back to it. It's the same thing with Emma Watson. She felt the same thing too, because people made fun of her when she was in school with Hermione and everything like that. That's one of the reasons why she quit school. The actress, she quit school because of that shit. And I would too, to be honest. And I'm surprised she didn't stop being Hermione just because of that shit. But I'm glad she didn't. I think the cast was great. Even though in the book Hermione is black, she's a sister. And she's not supposed to be beautiful at all. She's supposed to have messed up hair, buck teeth, and everything like that. And as she goes older, then she becomes her own. And everybody's like, that's Hermione? Shit. You know, it's like that. So, she still has that messed up paleness, but people look at her now and be like, you know, she's not that ugly. She actually became her own now, you know? So something like that. But I can't wait for what's going to happen in the next, you know, the next streaming service of HBO Max with Harry Potter, the 20th anniversary. I thought that we were going to do this in the 25th anniversary or the 30th anniversary, because I feel like this is too fast, in my opinion. But you know what? I agreed up with these guys. So it made sense that if I'm in my 20s, almost in my 30s, I'm 28 years old, literally almost in my 30s, it kind of makes sense of them doing this now, especially if they're in their 30s, early 30s, and you don't want to do it when they're in their late 30s, almost in their 40s, because at that point, their kids would be teenagers. And then you'd be in the Harry Potter story, then you just skipped a whole bunch of years of them being in school, the kids, you know? It's like, oh, what happened in the first year, the second year, now we're in the 7th year. And we just started with their kids, you know? So that's it, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you guys think down below. And be safe and peace.